It's week 8, and we're no closer to certainty as no team is technically out of playoff contention. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LCS Countdown, where for 30 minutes we rank the league's junglers and break down some LCS barons until the timer reaches 0 and we jump into Champions Select. I'm gone for one day, and somehow there's more uncertainty in the standings, with the end of the regular split fast approaching.
What do you mean, James? Team Liquid stole number 1.
Yeah, they're still
Locked
number
in.
1, but TSM, they have locked the playoff spot. And Cloud9's loss yesterday means a playoff bye is up for grabs. Then there are 3 seeds in the postseason remaining, with any of the bottom 7 teams technically still within striking distance. You heard that right. No one is out of the playoff picture just yet.
I mean, it's a great time to be a fan of any team because you can always say, there is hope. I still believe the whole way through.
Very small amount of hope for some teams.
Yes, as delusional as you may seem to some, it is definitely a possibility. Being out yesterday, though, I feel I have some fresh perspective that I can lend to the broadcast and maybe a fresh set of eyes on the league. So I want to bring back an old segment, Overreactions, one of my favorites. And I'll start with this. First off, what the heck is going up with Vayne? She must be picked and banned now, 100%.
Absolutely. Vayne must be picked by the losing team.
Overreaction.
Yeah. Overreaction. Overreaction? Let's talk about it.
Sucks.
Does she really?
I know, she's pretty strong, but a lot of people keep blind picking her and getting counter-picked, and they're not that strong of an early game team anyway. So she needs some time to get strong, maybe 2-3 items, and they're getting beat up before it happens.
Yeah, I think it makes sense in some comps and against others, but it feels like it was the kind of thing where we saw it work in some places, and we're like, we want to play Vayne, and it wasn't perfectly played around.
Here's what I'm going to say. All the teams that initially valued Lucian were like, okay, Lucian's the greatest early game champ, and then they realized, okay, we can't play this early game so well. Let's just go with the super late game Ezreal scaling.
Right.
Lucian is maybe harder than Vayne in these situations, when in the pressure that you have to bring up. I don't think that the level of AD carries that we have are actually good enough to say we can all play Vayne. Like, you guys couldn't even play Lucian.
Oh no. All right. Well, there are merits to the champion, is what we're saying. It's just not that she needs to be picked above all else. Next up, how about this one? TSM are the best team in the second round robin. So the back 9 games.
Well,
There's
you can make an argument
hesitancy.
that they're 8-1 right now, or roughly around there, I believe,
Yeah.
the last 9-ish games. But then you have to remember that Team Liquid hasn't lost a game in the second half so far.
Right, I think,
True. That game is to be played on the final final day of the split.
right, so it's between the two of them right now, and I have a hard time saying Team Liquid's not the best team, but I don't think it's an overreaction because there's not that many unbelievable stats where you're like, no, it's definitively Team Liquid. It would probably be the fact that they haven't lost at all, and they have dominating first 3 turrets, but, there's a better first blood percentage for TSM and things like that.
You can write them in as best team with a little asterisk saying,
Pending the final game.
pending Team Liquid. Right?
All right, fair enough. That will be a very exciting final match to the split. Again, final day, final matchup, TL versus TSM. TSM got the better of them the first time around. We'll see which teams, though, can surprise with our matches today. Golden Guardians and Clutch Gaming hope to keep their playoff dreams alive in Game 1. Then Cloud9 aim to bounce back from their loss versus Optic Gaming. Counterlogic Gaming, they're looking to break a 1,063-day loss streak versus a surging TSM in Game 5. Now, one thing not on our schedule, though, is tonight's episode of The Simpsons, which features an LCS caster as their characters fall into the world of esports. So, I'm going to be joining my man Phreak over here, who so graciously took my spot yesterday as I was out. And on your birthday of all days. So happy birthday to you for that.
I'm 32, feeling old. Back pain, it's exciting.
Is still young as ever and quick-witted, might I say.
Thanks.
So talk to me about this Simpsons experience. Just kind of the overall, what was that like to be asked to be involved and ultimately execute on it?
I mean, absurdly surreal. It's interesting because I've been on camera for a while now, and I do the LCS, and I love it, and you guys are amazing. The show is amazing. It's all wonderful, but I've never done an actual physical TV show,
right?
Animated as it is, but a physical TV show with the show's older than I am or roughly as old. So it's just absurdly new, right? It's this is crazy. It's only 2 lines. I don't think there's a representation of me on camera. It's not that I saw, but even without any of that, it's still super cool, really, really interesting. I'll be sure to catch the episode.
I mean, how cool to be involved with a show with as much history and pedigree, and longevity of all things as The Simpsons. Did they have any requests of you? You said a couple lines in the show, but like, did they ask for very signature, Phreak calls, or was it more a classic representation of, of esports in general?
Right. So I don't know if I can like talk about what the lines are, like to spoil the plot of the episode.
Please do not.
Because of course,
tune in.
The plot, terribly the reason you watch this, of course. But yeah, I mean there was the ask. Like I didn't see the script till I got there, and there was the 2 lines, and like. The things they talk about are like very direct. Like clearly the plot moves forward and I have to cover those things happening. So there's not a lot of space to editorialize. They did say, hey, is this the phrasing you would use? Like what would you say in this kind of thing happening? Like, hey, make it as you as possible, make it as authentic as possible, which I think is the right thing to ask for. So I tried. I wouldn't say like there's no like tons of damage or like puns in there or anything, but hopefully it sounds like me and it sounds authentic.
Right. Well, and it's important to note that show's producers, people who worked on the show, made a trip to the LCS, as well as I think to Liquid's training facility, to kind of really immerse themselves in the scene and have a better understanding of how it all went. I do want to end this quick little interview, though, as we do each time here on Actors Corner, with questions asked by the great Bernard Pivot. This is rapid fire, so get ready.
Yeah.
I want you to shoot some answers back at me. What's your favorite word?
Pun.
Okay. What inspires you?
Puns.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh, if I could write puns for a living, that'd be great.
Oh my God, this is going terribly. What profession would you not like to attempt?
Oh gosh, your job. Sadly, they make me.
You've already had to do that.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
Unlucky.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear from God when you arrive at the pearly gates?
So this one I actually got the question before, so I got one ready. It needs to also be a pun, of course. So it would be something stupid like, are you guys allowed to say hello here?
Oh, dear Lord.
It's, the opposite.
All right, and then he's like, see ya.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can listen. Hello, as he falls.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can listen for Phreak in the episode My Sports, which airs this very evening at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Coming up, the analysts share some jungle tier lists and break down some questionable Baron plays. Meet us back here in 2.5. We'll see you then. Welcome back to the LCS Countdown, about 20 minutes away from Game 1. In commemoration of Jungle January in March, the analysts have shared their jungle tier lists with an important caveat. All junglers who have played in the LCS are eligible, regardless of if they've shared the role with another player. So, as we throw the list up onto the board, you're only going to see 10 positions. Some players who have played in the jungle position this split will not find their way onto this list by virtue of only having 10 spots.
Of course, and no surprise, topping the charts for all of us is Smithy. And after playing his 400th game, he has the 3rd most assists all time in the LCS, not amongst junglers, all time, including supports, with only Xpecial and Aphromoo ahead of him, which is insane that he's 1,000 ahead of any other jungler.
Well, people always talk about Double Lift doesn't know the old guard, isn't playing forever. Xmithy is just that. He's been playing just as long, maybe even longer outside of the LCS.
He's actually older as well.
Yeah, like he's actually been here for so damn long, and he's still on top of his game, that he's on the roster like what Team Liquid has made, which is just so impressive.
Right, and usually when people are playing for so long, you start to see them falter, but he's still literally carrying games with the team full of superstars on them. Like, he literally carried them yesterday.
I know that Xmithy is so amazing because sometimes he actually dips and, okay, is this the year that he's out? It's like, no, he just knows how to get right back up to, like, being a god jungle, which is unbelievable.
Right, you talk about the importance of being able to carry, especially when you're going to be a player who finds himself at the top of the list. But I think, likewise, it's important to find consistency and not have those game-losing moments.
Yeah, there's basically one game you can think of, which was their loss to TSM, where he had a bad game. And the fact that that was the one game he played really bad is the game they lost shows how important he is.
I think he made a few mistakes against Golden Guardians that gave him that early lead last week. But other than that, he makes like 1-2 mistakes, and then he's right back on how do I fix this and make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Generally claws his way back in. Let's talk about the 2 guys who occupy the slots just below him, because there's a little bit of disagreement there. First up, Sven Skaren for Cloud9.
And he leads the league in deaths for junglers, which...
And yet he's still number 2 on a couple,
and
on
it's
list.
one of those things...
On your list, yeah.
Context is super important, and just because he dies a lot, you need to understand he is the setup for his team. He is the guy who gives his body up to start fights, and it's not an enviable position to be in. The team relies on him to do this because usually Licorice is on carries, so he's not the guy to engage. It's him and Zayzla every time, and he is almost always making beneficial plays despite the fact he's dying.
Right, and a very good game that exemplifies that is when they're playing versus TSM, he literally sacrifices his life as a Kindred to kill Bjergsen and get the game-winning play for them. He gets no glory because he's the only one that's dead when they're ending the Nexus, but he started that play and got the victory for them.
You've got to look at the return when evaluating the death itself. Following Svenskeren, let's talk about Santorin, because this is a guy who throughout his entire career, we've always raised the question, how good is he really? And he's had moments of brilliance, and then he's had moments where we're ready to, in a sense, disavow him. And yet, he's sitting at top 2 on both Crumb's and Mark's list.
Yeah, when he first made his big debut, it was on TSM, and he got quoted. He's a ward bot for Bjergsen, and I felt like we never gave him that big of a shot for him to really shine. So he's been through a few more teams. I believe it was Energy, back to Academy and whatnot. Now on FlyQuest again, I think he's got something to prove, and he's been doing such a good job just being very consistent for what he has to work with. A lot of the times we say the jungle and mid lane pressure have to be on the same, the jungle and mid lane on the same page. He's working with guys that are not necessarily the very best of the league and still making it work in such a stellar way that we just have to give him a lot of credit for who he's playing with and what he's making out of it.
What you pointing at, Mark?
Those stats, they're ridiculous. He's #1 in kills and assists pre-15 minutes. He's got the best KDA, and it's important to note he's the complete opposite of Svenskeren, where like you have people on the team who will be the team player, and it doesn't need to be him. And he's usually counted on as more of a carry, playing things like Nocturne and Kha'Zix and stuff like that to actually make the kills himself.
All right, next up, I want to talk about the CLG junglers.
Or the lack of them.
Or the lack of them, exactly. I was going to say they're noticeably absent from these lists. So high.
I got Wiggly number 10.
Okay, Wiggly made it to number 10 on Mark's, but outside of that, we don't see much of them.
Right, so it's kind of surprising to see an LCS team where we're doing a tier list of junglers, and they don't have a jungler in the top 10 for both mine and Crumbs' list. And I'm going to argue that by saying Optic has 2 really strong junglers that I think both deserve to be on a starting LCS position. So I had to boot someone else to put Dardoch on. And unfortunately, I had Wiggly at the bottom, but I got informed that I was able to have the other players that aren't on the starting roster to be here. So I had to throw in Dardoch, and then unfortunately Wiggly just got booted out from my list. And he'd be like 11th or something right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird though? Because you would say that jungle and mid are like the 2 most important positions you would want on the team. Like if I had to put everything on my players, I would want those 2 to be like the most solid as possible. And if they're not on my top 10 list, something's going on.
So what do we think is holding them back then, necessarily?
I think it's been somewhat of a, the team synergy problems where they've had so many people getting rotated out, both Wiggly and Moon getting time, and then you've had Fallen Bandit some games, you've also had Auto, and it's really important to be able to work with your team. And so you have to know that they're probably splitting scrim time. They're both young, or well, I guess Wiggly's really young. Moon has been around the league for a little bit. So I think it's just, they haven't had as many opportunities as some other players.
Right. So for Wiggly specifically, I think he still shows a lot of errors that rookies do. He's still a bit nervous on stage, and he's getting acclimated to it a bit. Once he gets a bit more time, I'm sure he'll get better and better. And then for Moon, it's been quite a while since he's been in the LCS. I played with him on FlyQuest, actually. And I would say it's just, he needs more time playing with his team and able to play different champions, just champions that he's really good at, others that he kind of lacks on. And once he builds that up, I think he'll be a force to be reckoned with too.
Sounds good. So as we've talked about CLG swapping 2 junglers in and out, let's talk about the one other team that's been doing that all split long. Optic Gaming. Meteos and Dardoch, you've already said it. You believe both of these guys are deserving of starting spots on LCS teams. They've both made the list, but let's talk about their qualities, their pros, their cons.
Right. Dardoch is a really good jungler. He's historically had issues of being in a team environment. I don't believe those are true anymore. So if I was CLG, I'd be reaching out to Optic, be like, hey, you guys have 2 very strong junglers. How do I go about getting me one of them? But I guess it just comes down to like your team synergy, because at the end of the day, if you're not able to play with your team as a jungler, you're not going to get very far in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're 2 of the most skilled junglers in the league. Both of them have had issues, it feels like, integrating with teams, and that's something that has hurt them, but there's no doubting their skill.
All right, well, one thing that can determine the worth of a jungler is how they treat major objectives. And this is something that is near and dear to our heart of our resident jungler, Crumbs. So we're going to send you into the Rift to give us some insight on the decision-making of a Baron tank. Get in there, Crumbs!
I've jungled 2 at Worlds.
Be safe, take care of yourself.
Has he jungled at Worlds? I don't think so.
I have.
All right, he has.
Hey guys, so this LCS split has been having some really crazy Baron plays, and I'm not sure why, but we're gonna be looking at why these high pressure moments are always so tense for these teams, and especially from a player's perspective. So Today, this is 100 Thieves versus TSM Week 7. Let's take a look at what 100 Thieves has done in this Baron play. So they've already done their homework. They've pushed down the mid lane, and we got vision in 3 locations. Control ward inside the Baron, 2 wards in the red side. This is all great. It's not the best vision, but it's good enough to start Baron. So let's send our Sivir and our Syndra over there. Okay, Nocturne is on the map. He's not paying attention. Okay, this is good for us. All right, guys, we're gonna commit to the Baron play. Keep it up, combo with the Jarvan. Okay, LeBlanc just showed. There's a redemption here. They know we're doing this, and we're missing vision in the top side. Can we get a ward over there after? You're the support, can you ward over? Okay, you use control ward, but we don't have control wards inside the pit anymore. They know we're doing this, guys. LeBlanc is really dangerous. Can we combo her out? Bang, can you get the ward in the back of the pit? They see us doing there. It's 4 auto attacks, not 3. Okay, they still see us there, guys. We're gonna have to go back in. They're gonna press it down, guys. Get back in there. Oh, God, we just gave them Baron. Oh, my God. Can we salvage anything? He flashed out. Jeez, man. That was rough. Wow, okay. Moments like this can lead to one mistake that just snowballs the game completely, lets the other team have the objective. It's really hard, honestly. These moments are very difficult for a lot of these teams, but this was just my interpretation of how I think this moment went. How about we take a look at the comms to see what actually happened to 100 Thieves?
They have only 2 ping from Nocturne, okay?
Yeah.
I start?
I should do it. Ezreal has CP. We got 3 mountains. We gotta come.
Yeah. Try to block.
You ready,
Nocturne.
Sunday?
Yeah, I'm ready.
That can you do?
I'll try.
They know.
Nocturne here.
They have ward.
Hey, kill the ping, kill the ping.
Please stop.
Stop 2K, stop 2K.
We can't.
Can we get the next ping? Get the next ping?
Yeah, I'll try.
I don't think we can finish.
Okay, we can't finish then? Don't finish, don't finish.
Burst, but
No. They're gonna burst,
Wait to go.
They're going. Nocturne got it. Tom can eat. Nocturne flash.
It's brutal.
That was hard. Comms were like the same thing I was yelling at.
Basically what you were saying. I mean, it's, I think that's kind of the point, right? Is that most of these players at a high level understand what they're supposed to do to take a Baron. But as soon as you get put into the game on the stage, knowing that the win-loss when it comes to the, the regular season game is on the table, a lot of that goes out the window, and it's more about, there's a lot of freak out.
That ward in the back is seriously very difficult to click, and so if somebody places that as you're doing it, you don't have a lot of time to make a decision as to what you have to do, so it's always so much harder. Unless you've stomped the game and the other team is oblivious, a Baron fight is always difficult.
Yep, mistakes on the side of 100 Thieves, heads up play from the side of TSM, nets them the Baron steal. On the other side of the break, the producers give power to an autonomous monster, and we endure another Jatt stats. See how that goes after the break. Welcome back to the LCS Countdown. Golden Guardians and Clutch Gaming will be on stage for Game 1 in not too long. But before that, all right, you robot, where are you? Let's get this over with.
I'm gonna destroy you guys.
As a name, James.
Hello Dash, hi, Mark, and Crumbs. Welcome back to Jatt Stats. I hope you are well rested and prepared to perform at peak condition to tackle my questions. Let's jump right into it.
We're ready.
Question 1.
We're ready.
Later on, Dash and Kobe will explore the potential return of Vi to the jungle.
Damn right.
Which player has the most Vi games played in
Meteos.
the LCS all time?
You think Meteos?
Me.
Really?
Me.
Really?
I'm gonna say myself.
Wow.
Well, she hasn't been meta in like forever, right? So it's like basic. You're looking at season 5 and before.
Even before, yeah,
Season
4
4
and
maybe.
before, exactly. I don't even think she was paid.
It could be
season
Meteos.
five.
I think he's baiting me. I'm going for Meteos
I'm
before I
going with
get
myself because I'd like to be the answer.
Fair enough, let's go. I'll go with Meteos as well, alongside High.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll go Meteos.
I am most disappointed in one of you.
Oh.
The correct answer is Crumbs at 14 games with a
Crumbs.
64.3% win rate.
That's a solid win rate.
There we go.
Solid
14 games.
64% win rate.
I got baited.
14
All right,
did?
dude.
That's not that high.
Question 2. Vayne has seen multiple picks in the LCS this week. Because of this, I have picked up something you humans called Vayne spotting.
Yeah.
All of these players except for one have a losing record on Vayne in their LCS careers.
Wow.
Spot the only player that has gone even on Vayne.
Sneaky.
A.
Piglet.
Double
Sneak
lift.
Piglet.
I don't think it's
Because I feel like it.
Piglet.
Well, so
He won
C.
the world.
Piglet could be a
Sneaky.
bait. Well, it's
D.
only.
Oh, wait, is this
Wild
LCS
turtle.
record?
Yeah, actually, I don't know. If
Mr. Jatt
clarification
Stats, can you-
yeah, Jatt, can you clarify? Is it LCS or all time? Like, Career.
Regardless, I choose C. Sorry,
LCS.
LCS all time.
LCS all time.
Okay. So Piglet actually
Thank
lost
you,
a fair
Jatt.
amount of regular season games, I think.
Yes, but it is the one that he always goes back to, and then I feel like randomly gets a win on it. And it's almost like it's not even the right pick, but he still somehow wins on it.
All right,
You know?
I'm gonna go with.
Also, it'd be hilarious if it was Sneaky.
I'm gonna go with Sneaky actually.
So
'cause
it's either Piglet or Sneaky.
I feel like it's the one you least.
I'm going
expect.
I'll
double
go
it.
Piglet.
I'm going double it. I
I'll go
actually think
Piglet
he's
just
one
to be
up to you.
opposite Mark. But
Hi, what'd you go?
I chose Sneaky.
Oh.
He has the highest win rate, I think.
The correct answer is C. Sneaky, who is 4 and 4 on Vayne.
They baited you with all the Vayne
that's
players.
good though. I like it. I like that answer. All right. Awesome.
50%
It's
win
only
rate.
it's the only one with a non-losing.
good.
It's not winning.
It's not winning, but
losing.
It was
not
winning before
losing.
last game.
All right. Last one.
Question 3. This jungler has played the second most unique champions, the split among all LCS players. The only person to have played more champions than him is his own mid laner. Name that jungler.
Santorin?
Is it Santorin or
You
is it
think?
Contracts? Because Contracts has a lot of like one-off games on things.
But has Froggen played that many unique champions?
He's played a bunch of
But
random
Contracts
ones.
are the
Right,
Poppy.
but he stays in the random realm.
But he's played Poppy. He's played like Camille. He's played Zen.
I could cheat real quick and go through all.
No,
Just
no
because
cheating, Dash.
You guys are thinking the wrong way.
to go through all my notes.
You guys think the mid laner.
That's what I was saying. I think Froggen has played a lot of unique things. He's played like Corki. He's played
Is it not
Nivea. He's
Pearson?
played. You can do what you want.
I'm going for
Contracts.
Acadian. So you're going contract?
I'm going Contracts.
I'll go Contracts.
Oh, he got the Poppy game yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I'll
got
go
Poppy. He's got
Contracts.
Zen. He's got all this.
The correct jungler is Lyra at 11 different picks among the 20 total different
he
picks
plays
in that
Jay's
position.
jungle. Right. Oh, and DeMonte has played a fair number of unique champions.
Has he?
Yeah, I think in
But
the
he hasn't been around that long.
beginning of the split, he played a number of Galio games and stuff.
But-
and that
but
may have,
yours
that
is
may
the
have
Galio.
like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It may have tainted our image of how many unique champions he played because he had a string of Galio.
And they're
but
not in
then-
the playoffs. It's just
Right.
out of my head.
And then, okay. Wow.
This still can be. Come on. I have 5 stock invested in them. Come on,
Wasn't
Clutch,
that
pull through.
also very fun?
Oh, so
I know
fun.
you must be brimming with thanks over the kind of joy I'm able to deliver on a weekly basis to your otherwise incredibly dull lives. Predictions
Presupposing my
are coming up,
gratitude
and a
is-
reminder that anything less than a 100% prediction rate is a failure. Toodaloo.
Unbecoming of a robot. Check your ego, my friend. Check your ego. But that was fun, and I love that highest win rate Vi in the LCS.
Most played.
Wait, it's not highest
Oh
win
no,
rate, just
highest win rate. My bad.
Hey, 14 games. Like, what was 64%.
Now I want to
Pretty
know who
good.
the highest win rate Vi is.
You know, in Silic, you have like 50 Vi games and like 70% win rate too.
Nice.
Is that
Well
an
done, my
old
friend. Well
or-
done. Maybe
actually
we'll include you in that
bronze.
segment
Oh,
later on.
bronze.
We got 2 minutes left to go before game 1, so let's take a look at predictions. And my goodness, hi.
Wow.
We are going to have to
FlyQuest
talk
over
about that
TL.
one. Once again, we are going to reward accuracy and punish those whose analytical powers fall short in our weekly wager. So let's see which game is on the line. And it will be
what a shocker.
Team Liquid versus FlyQuest. Today's game, Team Liquid versus FlyQuest, and I bet you want to know what exactly it is you're playing for. The losers will have to take the KDA challenge and recreate the dance from Popstar. Here's a quick reminder of the video itself and maybe some of the moves you will have to bust out.
Oh boy.
I cannot dance.
Do they have the outfits ready to go?
I don't
Wait, if I get to choose one,
'Cause I would love
can
to
I
be
choose
KDA
a girl I
Collie.
cosplay as?
Who do you want to be? Who would you
Collie.
choose?
Yeah,
Collie.
Collie, sure.
Who would you
Sure.
guys?
Oh, I'd do Evelyn for sure. Look at her
Evelyn
glasses.
is a
She's
sick
got sick
one.
glasses.
I just
Collie,
don't like
though.
the mask.
Collie face mask.
Yeah.
is
Well, she's
just
got the hat.
too hard to beat. Too hard to beat. I mean, there are 4 of us, 4 of them. We have the whole crew right here.
Wait, but then
No.
there'd be no winner or loser there.
We can play backup to whoever loses. How about that?
I think we all know who's gonna lose already. to be
Why
honest.
do you think FlyQuest is going to take down TL?
All right, so I have a lot of reasoning behind this. None of it is based off the credibility of them actually being able to pull through with stats or anything like that. However, in the interview yesterday, Paul Butter literally said, "I'm going to smash Team Liquid yesterday." So if he loses today, I need
to blame
him,
it on him.
to be a part of my KDA squad because he
Oh.
is the reason why I'm voting for them to win. So if he falters on me,
We'll get
I'm calling
FlyQuest.
for you, Paul Butter.
We'll
There
get
it is.
FlyQuest as your backup dancers.
You guys have
like
to be my backup dancers if I lose this.
Committing Poe Belter to the challenge right now. Hey, I like taking the player's confidence at his word and trusting in him to take down Jensen and the rest of Team Liquid. That's the 4th game of the day, so it'll be a little bit till we see that contest. For now, we're going to toss it out to the Battle Arena for the first game of the day.
Oh, no.
Thank you very much, Dash. You host the desk way better than I ever have. Welcome to the Battle Arena. Golden Guardians on the red side, Clutch Gaming on the blue, and we're ready to go for the first game of the day. Both these teams still alive here in the postseason. Clutch, of course, has some work to do, but they're only a game behind playoff position. They